So here we have the Grand Emporium. We've had to make some minor adjustments. This set was purchased on eBay. No, this was not purchased on eBay. This was off Bricklink from a seller in Japan. Described to us as some parts were old and dirty, which they are. Some I will replace out shortly in the next couple of weeks. But I got this and another modular. The story behind this modular, I actually did order this modular off eBay a couple of weeks ago. I'll just show you the minifigures that come with it, obviously. Yeah, I did order it off eBay a couple of weeks ago, and the seller decided to ship it with Yodel. Now there's a lot of dispute between people over different companies and whatnot, and it really does depend on your area. In my case, Yodel decided to leave it on a neighbour's front doorstep 4 or 5 doors down from my house. They weren't instructed to, so I then had a prolonged battle with eBay, because eBay were like, well, it's been delivered. And I'm like, yes, but not to the right place. And Yodel weren't instructed to deliver it there. And, you know, they basically made me feel like it was my responsibility to deal with that, when actually I know for a fact it's the seller's responsibility. And, I do feel for the seller, but ultimately, if you're going to send an expensive modular through the likes of Yodel, I wouldn't recommend it, basically. It was an expensive piece of equipment, and they used a really cheap seller delivery company, and therefore it never got to me. So yeah, I ended up getting a refund, but eBay left me with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth over the whole factor, because eBay made me feel like it was my they were doing it as a one-off, when actually no. Just because it says delivered doesn't mean it was delivered. I don't control which company the sender uses, and this just concerns me with all the changes going on over at eBay with their simple delivery. Lots of people are going to be pushed to the likes of Yodel and Every. Now Every I have no problem with locally. DPD are brilliant. Royal Mail are good, but they are a bit slow, and sometimes they don't always ring my doorbell, but my parcels are safe, they don't leave them, which is what Yodel did. Right, so I'll go through this. Some of the bits that need changing are these white bits here. They're obviously not white. And these grey pillars here. So those will go on order. And probably that's supposed to be white. Okay, and there, that's supposed to be white. So I'll order those. But personally, I'm not too bothered by it. I've swapped out some bits myself already. I made some adjustments. This was missing, so I made my own. And same with the window cleaner guy, he was missing, so I made my own. Okay, and I've added a little bit more detail to the inside as well, because I found the inside was a bit bland. I've changed these flower pots using some parts from the Bricklink wall, and I'll just take this layer off and show you the first floor. So here I've not made any adjustment to the first floor. I felt that was enough there. I might tile it. I do feel it's not tiled, and therefore that lets it down a bit, so I might tile it at a later date. But I love the revolving door, the little curtain for people to change, the counter, the 2 mannequins in the window, the legs, and so on and so forth, the hats. And yeah, I just like the way they've done this one. And the escalator going up to the next floor, so I'll put the next floor on and show you that one now. And on the second floor I added some detail. So I added this here with lots of cups, crockery, plates, teapots and stuff on, because all it had were these and these in the centre, and it just felt a bit bare. So I've added it my own, and then of course you've got another escalator that goes up to the final floor. But yeah, I just added that in the corner myself. I just felt like it needed a little bit more. And the third and final floor, those were in white in the set, mine are missing. Added my own little thing here just to fill it out a bit more. Nice chandelier here, made a couple of adjustments to that because there's a part missing but you can't tell. Had to make the bike myself because that was missing, and this is supposed to be a house here. It's pretty much impossible to get an angle of it. Okay, so yeah, that was the third and final floor. So yeah, the one criticism that most people make of this set is that it needs a bit more detail, and I can understand that, but personally I'm quite happy with it. It's quite a tall modular. Yes, it's another corner. That's another corner of the city filled out. So I shall get that all sorted and get that placed in the city and update you when I've done that. And just, there's the sign for anyone interested. There we go, there we have it in all its glory. Yeah, so I'll have to order a couple of parts and swap out some of the really badly sun damaged pieces, but I'm not too overly concerned. But this is the second time I brought this set. As I was telling you, the first time Yodel decided to leave it on my neighbour's door and I had to get a refund. It was a lot of faff and it just held me up by about 3 to 4 weeks on this one. But here it is, all built. The road plate wasn't included. I built the road plate as well because I know where it's going to go in my city, so I needed to add that. And yeah, okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, like and subscribe.